But yeah, so that kind of just transitioned into my modeling career from, like I said, my friend. And then, yeah, I just started doing small shoots in Philadelphia for local brands. And then I started like my Instagram and really my career pretty much picked up from Instagram. So I'm very grateful for Instagram. It's allowed me to meet so many dope people. And like I've had I had a billboard in Times Square in 2018 and I got booked from the job through Instagram.
Let's go. Come on now. Let's go.
Thank you. I actually still work with that brand. It's called Sensational Hair and they're a braiding hair company. So
that's dope.
My face is in all stores all around the world.
That's amazing. Still. Yeah. So truly amazing. Like that. I can't even imagine that feeling of seeing, you know, your face right there in Times Square.
I definitely cried.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Come on.
And it was a few years ago. I know I'm going to have another one soon, so be on the lookout. But it still touches me because it's like, wow, like that was a goal that I had when I really got serious about modeling. Because I started, like I said, I started modeling in 2013, but I told myself that I wouldn't call myself a model until I was signed. So I got signed in 2016, and that's when I was like, oh, wow, I could really do this.
Oh, yeah. It's a model.
So then that happened. Yeah, and I just met people. And yeah.
That's amazing.
It's been crazy. Yo. And I won't ever question like the path. I just feel like everything happens for a reason. And I just sometimes when I get discouraged, when I'm like, am I doing right? And I'm just like, then my agent's like, hey, you got a job for this. Something's you know?
That's amazing. Yeah. And I think that's you know, it goes what's the word I'm looking for? It goes without saying. Yeah, because a lot of the times, you know, and I've said this probably, you know, I don't know how many times in the podcast before, we move at like 100 miles per hour a lot of the times, you know, we don't stop and, you know, smell the roses enough, you know.
That's so true.
And especially in your lane, you know, it's something that is just going to be the next thing, the next thing. And I'm sure at times it could be, you know, overwhelming, especially, you know, when you talk about projects or a set that you were sitting on for like 5-6 months. I'm sure in those 5-6 months, I don't know 100%, but I'm pretty sure there's times where you're just like, man, right? Like,
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
It's definitely tough. Thank you for acknowledging that, because there is times where it's like you accomplish a goal and you're like, all right, on to the next. And my family had to always like talk to me about that, because I would do stuff like the billboard or work for Beyonce or like work for all these big companies that I've worked for, Google, like all these companies, and I'll do it, and then it's like, okay, what's next? And it's like, no, like you need to be proud of yourself and acknowledge that. So I'm actually in a place now for the first time in my life where I'm like smelling the roses, where I'm like, wow, like I put in work, I put in time, I put in energy, and like to see where I am now. And I know I still have a long way to go, but it's like, it's good to really look back and like acknowledge your growth or your hard work. Because then if not, you're never going to be satisfied. And then you're going to look up, be 70 years old and not be proud to say yourself.
Right, you look back like what?
Yeah, like, so.